Ellis, I guess first, just to kind of talk about the transition period for you guys. And it was hit the ground running and do all those things. How was that couple of month transition? How are things kind of settling in a little bit now?
It's been like the last 11 I've been through. In my time period, I've been through about 11 or 12 of these. They're all the same in some aspects, in the fact that you're always playing catch up in some areas because you're behind. It's energizing. It really is. It's new faces, new staff, new people, new work peers. It's energizing. It's fun. But at the same time, it's some long hours, and there's some really difficult things that will be much easier when you got a year under your belt, or even 2 or 3 years under your belt. So we've gotten so much done in a short amount of time. Gus has been absolutely amazing. He's been the lead dog on the recruiting and the energy we put into it. We were probably a little behind on our 2014 because we were behind on the 2013, so we caught up on all of that in the last couple of weeks. And finally, yesterday, we got an opportunity to start working with the players directly in the off-season program, and that's, you've just begun on that. So that's another transition, within a transition, and it's energizing more than anything to finally get out there with the players. So to say all that, it's been like trying to drink from a fire hose, but they always are that way.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a total transition and not just coming in with one guy joining the staff or something of that nature.
Yeah, talk about, being hired early on with Gus and being able to kind of help and hire assistants. How important was that for you to be able to kind of have a hand in kind of some of the guys that you're going to work with?
Well, it's important. I've always said that the football staff is more important in my eyes than a staff in many other sports because of the numbers game. You've got so many players, and your individual coaches are responsible for more players than sometimes a staff of 4 basketball coaches are for an entire team, for an example. And I would venture to say in most every other sport, the ratio of coaches to players is not near what we deal with. So I think your staff is absolutely critical in that aspect. I appreciated the fact that he and I had input on who joined our staff. He wanted us to have total comfort and confidence in that room. But in the end, it's his decision, obviously. He's the head man, and it was his choice on who joined the staff. And there were certain criteria that he put on those hires, and there were things that I thought were extremely important too. But he did give me an element of comfort and an amount of input that was very helpful to me. And I just can't, every day somebody joined our staff, I got more and more confident, enthusiastic, and positive because he kept bringing in such great people, both professionally qualified and just people that I've known as professional all the time, just great people.
Yeah. Now that you've had a chance to work together for a couple of months, kind of heading towards spring practice, how comfortable is the group together on that defensive side of the ball?
It's fine. We've just barely scratched the surface now in talking about our package as far as X's and O's. But I've worked with Charlie Harbison before, I think 4 different places. I've worked with Melvin before at Mississippi State. Rodney had not worked with before, but I've known him for a long time. Rodney brings an element to our group. He's an Auburn man, and the only one in that room. So it's just a staff, I think, that I just think we're very fortunate to have all those guys here.
Yeah, kind of looking forward to spring. You talked about this kind of really starting to kind of get an idea. Do you kind of have an idea, man, maybe some of the players that you might want to get a look at certain positions yet, or is that still kind of ongoing?
Yeah, this won't be an extremely total makeover. You're transitioning from a 4-3 to a 4-2. There's really not a lot of, we're not reinventing the wheel here. But what I think in some small areas, we'll find some inside linebackers. There's a couple of them that we want to look at as our star safety, our star backer, the hybrid. And there will be some guys who've played that Big Sam linebacker who will move inside. So it's a little bit of transitioning there. But the 4 deep and the 4 up front, there won't be a whole lot of difference in personnel placement. And my feeling about spring ball, as we go into the first spring practice, is we're evaluating where players belong as well as how good players are and what positions they may fit the best. I know the year I first went to South Carolina, we took Eric Norwood and Cliff Matthews, who were 2 really good football players for us that year. they actually went through spring practice and switched positions after spring practice. Our evaluation told us we needed to move, and things like that could happen. I think spring practice is not a time where we're going to necessarily have our team in place. We're going to be evaluating where they belong, but I don't think it'd be a real dramatic change from that standpoint.